it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I have a slightly different Top Tip Tuesday because I'm actually going to be making a card, but I wanted to show you how the All Things Fabulous stamp set works. It's part of a bundle, although I don't yet have the dies. It's on page 121 of the new Stamping Up catalogue, so the 2020-2021 annual catalogue. I have actually taken the time to label all my stamps because on the plastic that comes with your stamps, there are little labels telling you which ones go together. So I have, as I say, taken the time just so that I know which ones are part of which flower, because it could get confusing. As I say, it's part of a bundle, and if you want the bundle, which includes dies for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the stamps, plus there is also this lovely kind of lace edge. So if you would like the bundle, then the bundle number is down here. Otherwise, you can order the stamp set on its own. And I'm going to show you using the stamp set on its own because I don't yet have the dies. I actually got this as a prize for something, so I'm going to buy the dies separately. So this is the stamp set. This is the card that I'm going to show you how to make, but in a different colourway. This is So Saffron, Daffodil Delight and Bumblebee. I do my two-step stamping, three-step stamping, in a slightly odd way, but I find it easier. So I tend to start from the smallest image, the darkest image, and build up. But you can do it the other way around. Or you can do what I'm going to suggest you do, which is use your Stamparatus, because that way, once you've lined your dies up, your stamps up once, they're going to fit. So it's much easier. So let me just pop that down. I do just need to check because I've just realised that I've done what could have been a silly thing, but no, that works. When I made my yellow version, I started with a larger piece of card and then trimmed it down after I'd stamped, and then I thought that's really not good to do. Let's trim down first. So I am going to start with the largest and go smaller, so it will be the lightest going to the darkest, apart from one of the flowers that's 3, which is this, which I'll be doing the other way round, and then the ones that have only got 2 I will also be doing the other way around, and I will explain why as we go along. So for this one, I'm going to use a very different colour scheme, which is Rococo Rose, Merry Mallow and Blushing Bride. So my largest image is going to be in the palest colour, so that's Blushing Bride. So I'm just going to ink that up. And do just try to make sure you don't have any lines, so if you're doing what I'm doing, or indeed bits of cat hair. I love my cats to pieces, but their fur gets everywhere. Come on, off you come. Has that gone? No, that's still there. And as soon as you put ink onto a photopolymer stamp, you will find if you've got cat hair on it, because it will look darker. Not a good look. Not convinced I've got rid of it, because I can still see it just there. You do have to be careful that you don't actually stab your stamp set when you do that, but I think I've actually got the offending... No, I don't think I have. Hopefully I have now got rid of the offending cat hair. That looks better, marginally. Good, right. I've probably now got it on my ink pad. So stamp that down and just, you know, press reasonably hard. The joy, of course, with the Stamparatus is that if you don't stamp well, like there, I think my magnet was too close to the image, then you can go back. So let's line that up properly again, right into the corner. This is not wanting to sit where I want it to sit. Let's pop it over here instead. So I can see that I've still got ink on my stamp, so I can just go back and fill it in. I think the reason it's not wanting to be there is because I've got another magnet underneath. So let's attach that to something else, because down there is a much nicer place. Yes, you see, that's better. That's a much better spot for this particular set of images. So that was Blushing Bride. Now we want Rococo Rose. So this is what I would call the dusty or dusky pinks. So they're not clean pinks, they've got that slightly dusky feel to them. And pop that down. And what I've done, and I'll show you whilst this is here, so what I've done is I've lined up this funny little image here. So basically you just need to find an image that you can concentrate on, and that's how you line it up properly. So let's lift that up. So there we are, that's all nicely lined up. And here, there's this here, this shape here, which just layers up. So on this one I was using this shape here. And then having got that lined up, you want to use one of these ones over here so that you get the twist right. I'm not convinced I've got it totally right, but it's good enough. So that's that layer. Then we've got the next plate, which is going to be Merry Merlot. And then I'm going to do everything by hand. So this is really for the bigger images. So let's ink up these with Merry Merlot. And down. And up. And yeah, that looks all right. So that's those. Let me just clean the ink off those. Because Merry Merlot's got a lot of the sort of pink red in it, it will stain your stamps a bit, but it is only a stain. It's not it's nothing to worry about. It just means that they're well loved. So if your stamps end up nice and pink, it means you've used them a lot, which I think is always a good thing to think about. Think of it as a positive. So that's number one tip. So now let's do the smaller version of the flowers. And these I'm going to do the other way round, or this I'm going to do the other way round, and I will explain why as I go along. So I'm going to pop it kind of there, which is a little bit nearer than it was. Actually, I'll come down a wee bit. Don't want to go too far across. In fact, let me just grab my sentiment, which actually comes from another stamp set. It's Thanks for Being Marvellous, because I think that's just a lovely saying. Although, actually, I used to be indecisive and all that, but now I'm going to choose a different sentiment. So I'm going to do Nobody Gets Me Like You Do, because that's also quite a fun sentiment. So Nobody Gets Me Like You Do. Let's grab that block. And I'm going to go Rococo Rose. I don't want to go quite as dark as Merry Merlot because it's going to detract from everything else. But I don't want to go as light as Blushing Bride. So Rococo Rose is a good middle ground. One of the joys of this particular sentiment is that it's wibbly, so you don't have to worry too much about getting it straight. Right, where was I? Inking up my Merry Merlot part of my flower. And of course, because that's bigger, I should be all right. So, Merry Merlot down. There we are. Clean that off. Then the next one is this, which is Rococo Rose. So, for this one, let me get my, take your pick again. So there is this little wibble here, which is here and here. So that's where I'm going to concentrate on lining up. But again, you can add one of the other points as well so that it helps get you straight. It doesn't matter which ones you use so long as you're consistent in the ones that you use. So Rococo Rose, and this is why I go dark to light when I am doing two-step stamping, because it is much easier to see dark through a lighter colour than it is to see light through a darker colour. So it means that I'm more likely to be able to line up my stamp. And again, so with this one, we're a lot lighter. So let me find the right squibble, which is just at the bottom there. Oh, well, I think I'm just going to miss the sentiment. There you go. Probably lined up better than the ones that I did with the Stamparatus, but it's fine. It's fine. So I now need a green, and because I've gone more mottled, I have Pear Pizzazz for my previous one, which is a little not quite what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go Old Olive because it's got that more dusky tone to it. You could also use, actually I might use Mossy Meadow, which is even duskier. So let's use Mossy Meadow. So for these, for most of the, well, for the leaves, you just stamp. So what I'm going to do, though, is ink up. Actually, I need a, that'll do nicely, a piece of mini grip paper, so that if I overstamp, I don't go on my nice pretty paper. So what I'm going to do is just tuck my leaves in. So that's one, and then can you see that I've got, probably not actually, I've got a line. Let's just stamp it down. What I was trying to show you was that I've got this line because I stamped over the edge. So if I wanted to do second generation straight away, that's what I'd get. Not a great look on your card unless you're going further out. So if you want to keep it within the card, you need to re-stamp and then, or re-ink rather, stamp off, and then you're good to go. I'm not making much sense, am I? So, do I want one of this? Don't think I wanted that. No, I think not. Right, okay, I think I've done enough of that one, because we do get a real choice of leaves that go in different directions. So, didn't clean that off very well. That's better. So I've got this slightly shorter stalk on this one, and again I'm going to tuck it into the petals, but now we've got a line. Can you see? Because I've stamped off the edge. So if I want second generation, I have to stamp off having inked up again. And there we go. So that's that one. And I may need to come back and add in some more. But what I'm going to do, in fact I will, but what I'm going to do now is look at the really small flowers, which are these and this one here. Oh, and there's another one down here. They're very good for fillers. So when you're doing something like this, which is a single layer card, it's a really good way of just filling space in. So I'm not sure if I want that full or second. I think I might go second. And this I'm going to have, actually I might pop this up here, because then that can fill that space there. And then I'll do it again there, and then I'll have the smaller one What I would say with these stamps is that it's a really good idea to put things away as you go, because otherwise you're never going to find where they're meant to go again. So this one will have there at an angle. So let me pop that one down. Let me get its partner in crime. I'm going to close my Mossy Meadow for a moment. And I think I'm going to go Rococo Rose for these, because they're obviously different flowers. And these are really easy to line up, because they just, each blob goes on the corresponding green blob. Blob being a, you know, technical term. And again, so you're just lining up with the end of your greenery, or in that case not, but that's all right, we can do it on this one instead. In fact, what I hadn't done was come down far enough, I think. Yes, because I was way off. I was supposed to be lining up with this one here and this one here, and I didn't. I lined up with completely the wrong one on the left. That's better. Much better. Not that this one matters, because it's just, it's green, you know, it's stuff growing, so it's not going to be totally accurate. Let me get a really small block for some of these, and that block for my shoot. But I really love this set. I was asked which set I wanted, and I said I want something that's more for me than for selling. But I like it so much that I think, you know, why not show you guys as well? And it's a great way of showing how to do the two-step stamping thing. And then there's a very small version of this, which I'm going to use there. And do I want something there? Possibly. And then we just need to do the pinks. Now these are two-step, these two remaining images, and I'm going to go Rococo Rose and Blushing Bride, because I think if I use Merry Mallow it's going to detract. So Blushing Bride, I need to get the right one. So this is 4, which is the longer stalk, so it's this one. So I could, nope, I'm happy. I was just thinking whether I wanted one of them to be Rococo Rose, and I don't. It's fine. So now I need the other 4, and this is going to be Rococo Rose, and this is of course where I've gone completely the opposite way, and I've done my lighter first, but these are so small that you can almost not get them right. And then we just got our last 2 stamps to use, which is that one and this one, and I might actually do these the other way round. So I'm going to go Rococo Rose first, and then Blushing Bride. But can you see how it's really easy to just build up an image? And I don't, that's quite close together, but it's actually fine. Yep, like that. I hope you like it too. Do remember that if you don't already subscribe, it really does help me if you do. So that would be fantastic if you could. I don't think it needs any more greenery. Unless I can get something long in there. Don't think that's going to be long enough. No, it's not. It's fine. It's fine. Although I could... No, that would be odd. No, that's fine. Don't fiddle, don't touch, leave it alone, as my mother would have said. So those are away. So all I need to do now is to finish the card off. So I have got, buried under ink pads, a piece of Rococo Rose and a piece of Merry Mellow. This is just half a sheet, and I'm just going to fold it this way. If you're doing short fat, you don't have to score, because this is the way that the paper likes to go, whereas long thin it doesn't. I did a post, some months ago now, on, it was one of those irritating headings called "Did you know this about card?" or something like that. And it was basically that card does have a grain to it, and depending on how you cut it, depends on therefore whether you need to score to get a nice crisp fold. And basically, if you're doing short fat, you don't have to score. I generally do. I hadn't with that one, and I'm going to use some of this lovely seal. I do like seal. I do find I do need to kind of get it started, and I'm doing the fast fuse check, because I do find, well, even with that, there is a bit of a tendency to string if you don't. So I do find that a bit of that fast fuse twitch is not a bad idea. But I love it. It's such a good glue. Well, adhesive. Now this has got a wider mat than I would normally use, just because I wanted there to be more of the pink showing. So there we go. 2 cards that are the same but different. So I hope you found that helpful with the whole lining up of your stamps. As I say, if you get them right on the Stamparatus, you can be churning them out like a sausage factory. So a really great way of doing mass production. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, you can leave those below. If you're watching this soon after it goes live, it went live at 8 o'clock in the morning. I've got a live Facebook session at 11 o'clock, so in 3 hours from when this first launched, where I will be doing all sorts of fun and games in my what I call coffee and card session. I bring the cards, you bring the drink. If you're not in the UK, by all means bring a different beverage, whatever suits the time of day that you are joining me. The link to my Facebook business page is below, and that's where the Facebook Live will be. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye!